In recent days, Newcastle has stopped talking only about football and started living a mystery that affects every fan. It wasn't a result on the pitch, nor just another transfer market rumor. Something much bigger happened, shaking confidence in one of the squad's key players and transforming the club's atmosphere. What once seemed distant became reality. And now the question echoing across Tyneside is simple, yet painful. How did Newcastle let this situation slip through their hands? And before we dive deeper into this story, let me ask you something quickly. If you are a Newcastle fan or simply love English football, subscribe to the channel. It's free, takes just one click, and helps strengthen our community. That way, you won't miss any behind-the-scenes news, updates, or insider information, keeping you a step ahead of the transfer rumors shaping the market. Now, let's get back to what really matters. Through the corridors of St. James Park, the conversation is always the same. What really happened for one of the squad's biggest talents to leave like this? Many fans still cannot believe it, and the way everything unfolded raised more questions than answers. Some say signs of dissatisfaction had been showing for months but were ignored. Others believe the management failed to handle the contract renewal process for a player who, for many, was untouchable in the club's sporting project. Fans clearly remember the meteoric rise of that striker, who seemed destined to become an idol in Tyneside. Every goal scored, every celebration in front of the Gallowgate end built a special bond between the Swede and the stands. But like so many modern football stories, that connection began to crack from within. Even before the first official approaches from another English giant, there were signs of growing discomfort since that, according to sources close to the club, were neglected by management. Liverpool didn't just secure the signing of Alexander Isak, they also made it clear they knew in advance that problems existed between the player and the club. According to The Athletic, the Reds have a clear conscience about how they handled the negotiations, precisely because they believed the striker was already unhappy long before the official offer was made. This transfer, which broke the British record for transfer fees, was far more than a market move. It was a game-changing event that hit Newcastle's plans hard. For those just joining us, it's worth emphasizing. Subscribe to the channel. Here you don't just get the headline, but the behind-the-scenes details and consequences often overlooked by mainstream media. That click on the subscribe button is what allows us to keep bringing exclusive equality content to you, the passionate fan. The impact of Isak's departure wasn't only technical but also emotional. The Swede had a contract valid until 2027 but made it clear to management that he no longer wanted to wear Newcastle's shirt. This forced the club to sell, even against their own wishes. According to reports from Inside Football, the Magpies still hoped to retain the player, but Liverpool's pressure, combined with the player's desire, made the situation unsustainable. The first offer was around £110 million, well below Newcastle's expectations, which aimed for at least £150 million. Even so, Liverpool acted strategically. Before pushing hard for the Swede, the Reds waited for Newcastle to complete parallel deals for players like Nick Woltermaid and Johan Wissa, targets that could reduce the club's resistance. The result was a deal closed at a high figure, yet below what the Magpies considered fair, a true market blow. It's also worth noting the wider scenario. It wasn't only Isak who caught Liverpool's eye. According to Miguel Delaney of The Independent, the Anfield club also tried until the very last minute to secure Mark Guehi from Crystal Palace. This approach reinforces the image of an uncompromising Liverpool in the transfer window, sparing no effort to strengthen their squad. However, for executives at other clubs, the Reds' conduct caused unease, including in Tyneside. Some experts highlight that it wouldn't be fair to place all responsibility for the player's departure on Liverpool. Newcastle, to some extent, also failed. Negotiations for Isak's contract renewal did not progress as expected, and the Swede felt deceived by a promise of salary adjustment and contract extension in 2024 that was not fulfilled. This detail, revealed by The Athletic, was reportedly the tipping point for his dissatisfaction. The famous Instagram post where he mentioned a broken promise gained new significance after his departure. If you follow Newcastle and don't want to miss anything about the club's future after this explosive transfer, now is the time to subscribe. Here you get not just the news but the context, analysis, and insights on how these events shape the team's path. Don't miss out on this story. The situation exposed a wound. To what extent is Newcastle ready to compete on equal footing with Premier League giants off the pitch? On the field, the project is solid, but behind the scenes, the Isak episode revealed weaknesses in handling contracts and negotiations. The Saudi-backed club has resources but still faces challenges navigating the pitfalls of the English market, where rivals know every detail of timing and psychological pressure. Fans, amid the frustration, also realize that Isak's departure opened space for a new chapter. The money received can be reinvested strategically, but the question is, will there be time and intelligence to do so? While Liverpool celebrates the arrival of one of Europe's best forwards, Newcastle must prove that this episode will be just a stumble, not a setback, in their ambitious sporting project. The truth is, this saga between Newcastle, Isaac and Liverpool will echo for a long time, not only for the pain of losing a star, but also for the lessons it leaves for the club's management. The Reds may pride themselves on how they acted, but the greater impact remained in hindsight, where fans wonder what could have been done differently. And that answer, perhaps, will only come with time. And here's my final invitation. Subscribe to the channel right now. We have many more stories, analyses and revelations about Newcastle and English football in general. Your subscription keeps this space alive, delivering exclusive high-quality content. Newcastle lost Isaac, but together, we won't miss a single update.